podcast. I am Karyn Bryant.
What's up, everyone? Alan Jouban here as well.
So yeah, hey Alan, good to see you. We know we took last week off. Of course, we are still in the middle of the coronavirus crisis, staying at home. There really wasn't too much going on, but good to check in with you again this week. How you doing in general?
Doing good. I've been using the quarantine. I think you've seen it or we talked about it before, but I just been using this quarantine time to work on the home, get all the little projects that always give me anxiety in the back of my head. I should do this one day. I'll take care of this next year.
Right.
I'm doing it now. So I'm at the hardware store every day getting things, getting paint and coming home and working. So it's good. It's getting it. Sometimes I get in over my head, I think.
Yeah.
But I'm getting a lot done nonetheless.
Okay, but Alan, you're giving me a little bit of stress here. You're saying you're going to the hardware store every day, dude?
Yeah. Well, I have a hardware store on my street, so I'm very fortunate. I don't have to drive to Home Depot and stand in the lines and stuff, but I can put a mask on, walk down the street and back in 2 minutes. So
okay. All right, because, I hear you, because we've been doing some stuff around the house. I know Wade has gone to Lowe's to get some things. I may have to go out to the grocery store later, but in general, we know we've been staying home a lot and really haven't been going out for anything. But I have noticed if people have been following you on your stories and everything, you have been doing so much around the house, and it really looks like it's coming together, and you went under your house or something, which is creepy, right? Wade's done that before, and that's like the nightmare scenario. I don't know if you were as afraid. Oh, no, I don't want to say afraid. I'm not going to say that he's afraid of spiders, but he doesn't like spiders.
Oh,
and,
really?
That's where they all live.
No, it definitely wasn't a spider thing, and there definitely is a ton of spiders, but I'm claustrophobic, and you would think like kind of as an MMA fighter getting choked, you shouldn't be claustrophobic. But it's just tight spaces. Even sitting on the window seat on a plane, and if I got two guys bigger than me sit next to me, and I'm like, oh my God, I'm just stuck next to this window, and there's a guy right here. I don't like it. So getting out of the house has always been a huge fear of mine because I think I live in California. What if the earthquake happens and I'm stuck in this? And that's always been kind of a thing. But anyway, got into the house, did some repairs. It wasn't as bad. My son snuck into the house. And I see this little flashlight coming, and I'm like, what the hell? And so he thought it was fun, and so that kind of made me a little more braver, being that he thought it was such a fun thing. But yeah, the projects have been coming along, and that was kind of checking one off the list for me, getting that out of my.
Well, good for you. And on that one, that's when I will fully pull the chick card and be like, yeah, no, girls don't go into the house. So have at it. I have at it. I'm not doing that. So thank you for doing it. Thank you. I'm sure Nicole thanks you. I always thank Wade when he does that whenever you need to go in there. But I don't know what you've been doing. Like, I know you set up your whole home gym. I got into jump roping, Alan, lately because, the thing is going around the neighborhood a lot. We've been jogging and riding our bikes and stuff, but you got to wear the mask. And at least in my backyard, I've been like, well, I'll go without wearing my mask in my backyard. And granted, we have the trampoline, so we jump around on that. But I've been getting into the jump roping, which is fun because, you can get all that workout in a shorter amount of time, and it's at high intensity. So I've got an app and I've been doing all this stuff. My neighbor the other day that was out there, and he goes out and has a cigar in the afternoons. And so the other day I had already started jumping. I thought I had dibs because I was out there jumping first, but he came out with his cigar, and I was like, well, this is going to kind of bum me out a little bit jumping with the cigar, but whatever, it was fine. And he's like, you jump like a boxer. And I'm like, yeah, I wish, bro. Like, I'm not that good yet. But I will say, I do enjoy it and I'm okay, but I don't know about you, Alan, but like when you miss and you beat yourself with that jump rope, that hurts so much.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about because the worst pain that you could feel jump roping is when you're going shoeless and you're doing it. I don't know if you've tried this, but a tie jump rope, it's kind of like, looks like a tube, like that you would maybe send water.
Yeah,
like
okay, right.
A big, maybe 1-inch tube, and that's what they use for the tie jump rope. So it's super heavy. It's more like an arm workout. And when you slap your toe with that thing, especially in a morning when you're still warming up, it's like 9 a.m. session, it's the worst thing ever. So I know exactly what you're talking about when you hit yourself with the jump rope. It's no fun.
It sucks.
It makes you more coordinated and calculated.
No, it totally does. So the one I have is like, like a cable with some plastic around it or whatever. And I do jump in sneakers when I'm out on my patio. And, you're going at a pretty good clip. And bam, you're like, and like, so I wailed my toes or something. Or I have a couple over here, and our daughter came out the other day. She's like, I want to try and choose barefoot. I'm like, don't jump barefoot with that jump rope. But yeah, I do enjoy it. It is fun. So I'm trying to get my groove with that.
It'll straighten you up quick. I get it.
Yeah, I do enjoy it. But all right, well, Alan, it is interesting. We know that obviously fights have been canceled. We were supposed to have 249. There's all this talk about Fight Island and everything. And you actually were on a call with President Dana White the other day. And, some of us have heard the things that he talked to you guys about, but obviously you being a fighter on the roster have all the inside knowledge. So, what can you tell us about, when the fights are coming back on and what he specifically told you guys, the active fighters?
Yeah, so we were on a call and Dana had, I don't know, there's going to be a number of calls. This is the first one. I jumped on the first one, but I believe they said there's like 5 different calls for fighters that didn't be able to make it.
Okay.
I was on my phone, so I couldn't participate in the conversation. We were asking questions by typing.
Okay.
And Dana was replying because we were all X'd out. We could only see Dana, but he was answering our questions that he would see.
Right.
And unfortunately, I couldn't get any of my answers, my questions answered because he couldn't. I was having trouble using my phone. But basically, it was a great call. Dana really kind of had that leadership quality about him. He came on here, wanted to reassure all of us, look, we're going to be rocking and rolling. We're going to be one of the first sports, aside from WWE wrestling, taking that format where we're going to be performing every weekend. We're going to get things rocking and rolling. There will be no crowd for a while. But once we have everything in gear, he was just telling us fighters, stay ready. Do what you can to be in shape. And the other thing that I appreciated about it is there didn't seem to be a lot of pressure coming from him in terms of, look, if you don't feel comfortable with this or you don't feel good leaving your family or it's a funny situation, just trying to get training right now, don't worry about it. If you're not into it, I would rather you just tell your manager to tell us. We want to know A or B, which fighters are game, which fighters are not cool with it while this pandemic is going on. Once we know that, we're going to be contacting you and there will be fights. So it was kind of nice to know that. I'm injured at the moment, obviously, but if I was fully healthy, I think where we're at right now, I'm starting to feel a lot more opportunistic about wanting to fight again. 2 weeks ago, I wasn't thinking about fighting, but now that I feel like the smoke is starting to clear, and we're starting to hear more good news, yes, a fight in the future looks good. And I think more fighters that were on the thread with me felt the same way as well. A lot of guys were feeling pretty excited about it. So it was good to know. May 9th will be the first card. It will be the super card that we've all seen. And after that, he pretty much just told us, after that, we're going to be pumping them out left and right. There are going to be fights every single weekend there on after. And the Fight Island will happen within about a month. And that will be the international fights. But we will have some of us domestic fighters fighting on that island as well, if it's a local and international guy matched up.
Well, yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you about, because I did read one thing and it said, just the way they phrased it, they put Americans will fight on Fight Island. And then I didn't know if that meant Americans only or that it was the reverse, that Fight Island was going to be more for internationals, but that sometimes Americans would go there. I wasn't sure what they meant on that.
The second one, from what I gathered from what Dana White said, obviously we're having the reason for the Fight Island is because all the trouble getting international fighters into America. There's too much trouble with that. So if we could find an international island in international waters that is open for everyone, that will be where the bulk of the international fighters will fight. But now and then they probably will likely sprinkle in some American fighters on those cards as well, just so it's not all European versus European or whatever. So we will have the opportunity. To be honest, from listening to Dana White talk, I kind of want to fight on Fight Island. Not only does it sound cool, but he was kind of building it. I don't know if he was trying to just build it for us or whatever, but he was like, look, we're building the infrastructure right now. It's going to have everything you need. The hotels, everything you need will be there. He won't tell us where. If it's some deserted island. But obviously it's some place that has some sort of infrastructure. They're going to have hotels, going to have all this stuff already. But he's going to say it's going to be an amazing experience for anyone who gets to do it. So I'm excited about it. Yeah,
I mean, it makes you think like, okay, hey, is there like a resort in the Bahamas or, somewhere in the Caribbean or somewhere near Hawaii? Like, is there some little outlier island that already has, a resort on it or, something that just needs to be like refurbished and brought up or something like that? Like, you wonder, because I also, obviously they have to have medical care for all of you guys and ladies and stuff. So it has to be a place, like you said, with a certain amount of infrastructure already. It's not like we're going to the place where the Fire Festival is.
Well, that's the thing. I know. So when you first think of it, and he says, I have located a private island.
Yes.
And you think, okay, so it's this little, 5 2-acre island in the middle of nowhere that they're going to build. But then you're like, well, then where do we stay? Where's the hotel? Where's the hospital? Where's the commission? Where's all this coming from? And so, like you said, we can't do a show without a medical response. We can't do a show without the certain things that we must have, at least, you know, in the normality of an MMA world. So it has to be some sort of island, like you mentioned, that already has some sort of infrastructure of food and medical and hotel. But they're going to be building the infrastructure of the octagon. But I take it as this is what I gathered from the whole thing. We'll probably be fighting at like Tashi Palace. Dana did not say that,
because that's where it was going to be before. Right.
So using those circumstances, I'm thinking the first fight May 9th will be Tashi Palace, which is Lemoore, California. I made my pro debut there. Great little spot. Once the Apex Center gets rocking and rolling and they're ready and clear to fight there at the new place in Vegas, I'm assuming all local shows will then be at the Apex Center from here on out until everything is opened up again with our economy. And then at that time, we'll also be sprinkling the international fights on Fight Island. So that's what I took from the whole thing. But Dana's very optimistic, very confident. He also did mention that he is part of this whole bringing back the economy thing with President Trump, and on there, it's him. I think it's Vince McMahon.
I heard the other day when he was naming names, and he was like, "Oh, you know, football commissioner and hockey this," and he's like Dana White, and he's like the great Dana White, and I was like, "Oh, I'm sure Dana loved that."
The great Dana White.
Yeah.
Nice. So it consists. I think it's the owner of the Patriots as well. What's his name?
Bob Kraft. Yeah.
So it's a lot of very powerful guys, a lot of them in the sports world that are kind of coming together, figuring out how to get sports and the economy going again. So Dana was just pretty much saying, look, I have a lot of inside tips, and we're going to be rocking and rolling very shortly, so be ready. His whole emphasis was just stay in shape. If you're down to fight, stay in shape. It's going to be happening. So it was a very exciting phone call to get.
That's great. And for my end of it, you know, on the production side, we haven't heard too much lately because honestly we're kind of the last piece of the puzzle, like whether or not we're going to show up and do shows from it, or if it's remote, or if we're doing this and that. Because initially, like I said, when we first knew that, you know, like Portland and Cleveland and all these were getting canceled, you know, they just were like, we're not doing any shows anyway, and even if they can fight, we're not going to do, you know, like the broadcast part of it. So it's tough for me because we don't get a ton of information because, you know, there are always just so many moving parts. And again, at the end, they're with us, they're just like, yeah, we'll let you know when you know. And so, you know, those first few shows could go off before we actually come back and do our part. Same thing like about building Apex or the studios and all that stuff. Like there's just so much that's still up in the air that isn't quite handled yet, you know, that is just kind of frustrating. So it's good to know, though, that you guys will be able to get back in action. I know I saw Walt talked about his fight with Alistair. I think he was thinking that could be the second weekend in May or whatever, or, you know, not the 9th, but the following one or something. So, I mean, it is really cool that some of those are getting rebooked. But I don't know what you think when you look and you see stuff like Tyron Woodley's like, yeah, let me fight all 3 weeks in a row. And, you know, and that's the thing is there are some of these people like Tyron had a marquee fight with Leon. You know, some of these guys that, yes, they want to make up for lost time, but you do wonder if they can suddenly put a bunch of these fights together. Like, will some people try to jump in and be, you know, more active? How will that all shake out?
It's interesting. I've seen a number of people. Tyron kind of mentioned that. Bilal Muhammad, I think, was joking about
Bilal's
that.
looking for a fight, right?
Interestingly enough, everybody that I've seen saying that they want to fight multiple times has also called out Colby Covington. And so I don't know why they put
he's got a big old target on his back right now.
Right. Obviously, he's a dislikeful type of guy, but he's also not an easy fight no matter what anyone thinks of him. Right. He's a tough fight for anyone. But man, I would still love, you brought up Tyron, I would still love to see that Tyron-Leon Edwards fight. I think that is just, to me, just kind of an intriguing fight of like the new school, somewhat new school, old school, not drastically, but he's a guy that we've always kind of taken lightly in terms of the power that comes behind his name when I say Leon Edwards. Yeah. But when it comes to wanting to fight him, not a lot of people want to fight him because of the skill set that he possesses. So I'd like to see that materialize at some point. But a lot of guys are getting excited. I think this phone call, once I don't think there was that many fighters on the phone call that I was on, but once he's touched base with the entire 600-person roster on the UFC, I think we're gonna, and everyone has had this phone call, and now they kind of know the game plan. I think we're gonna see a lot more fighters getting back into that fight mode. Twitter beef starting to happen again. A lot more call outs starting to happen again, and kind of getting things going. Because honestly, I've been having some names in my head that when I do want to fight, that I might want to call out. But A, I'm still nursing an injury. But B, it just doesn't seem like the right time. You know,
it doesn't.
It doesn't. I even did a video the other day of me calling someone out, and I got, you know what? I'm just gonna store this.
Right.
I don't want to call someone out right now. I hope that person and their family is safe.
Exactly.
And so on. That's really the priority in my mind right now. So I think the times are changing now. We're getting a little bit past some of the dangerous area, and things will start to open with the economy. And so fighters especially, will start to think about, okay, let me get back into that kind of fighter mentality, which is usually kind of obnoxious and a dickhead, but that's what fighter mentality is. It's kind of like being the alpha dog, calling people out, being a prick. Right now, guys have kind of been pumping the brakes right that and just, thinking about safety first.
Plus the call out with the mask on anyway, it's hard to get really.
Or it could be super kind of intimidating.
Yeah, I'm calling you out. You know who it is right now. You see me. I'm looking at you. You know I got your name on my lips right now. I'm talking to you.
Read my lips, sucker. Read my lips. Yeah.
Let's go right now, yo. That's pretty funny. But no, I know what you mean. It's like a weird time to be all in your house, like being a bad guy right now. And you're like, man, I hope your grandpa's okay and everybody's safe.
100%. I did the video in my backyard, and I came inside and played with my son, and I was like, I don't want to send this because I want everybody to be safe. And then, like, do I feel like sitting on my couch for the next 5 hours going back and forth with fans and Twitter? Like, no, man, I just want to relax and watch the news and work on my home. So not that time just yet.
Yeah, I might have to like reach out to like Molly or somebody who was on the London card. It's somebody from the European side to see what their take on the Dana call is, because I'd be curious, what the international if they are as excited as you are, because you feel, we know we can drive to Tachi Palace, right? Like I do still wonder for people who are further away, and worst case, we can be in Vegas in 4 hours. We can, all this kind of stuff. So I am curious though, if they're feeling that sense of sort of not relief, but like if they're starting to feel a little bit more buoyed here, that's a good feeling.
Like I said, Dana didn't tell any of us. The guys that are fighting on May 9th, maybe they know more than we do, but Dana didn't tell any of us location, this and that. But I'm assuming that if you are booked in the next May 9th or the following weekend, that Dana probably at least told you this: listen, don't tell anyone. You'll be flying into LAX. Okay. And you'll be a normal fight week. From LAX, we will take you in a shuttle and bring you to the location of this fight. So all you need to know is you'll be going on the West Coast. Tell your family that. And from there, we will take you to the location. You will be back home in 4 to 5 days, just like a normal fight week. But the details will not be announced until fight week. So I'm assuming that's what's going on with everyone right now.
Yeah, and that happened before. Remember when they had to move the fight for John, and basically everybody was still traveling to Vegas, and then they just put everybody on the buses from Vegas to LA. So yeah, same thing.
Because of John, I forgot all about that. Yeah. How crazy. John is the only fighter in history to move a card because of only him, because of one fight.
Right. I am curious. So Tony Ferguson, bless his heart, did make weight on Friday for the fight that he was supposed to have. That's Tony, man.
Yeah.
What can we say? Again, we always say this. It was the first time watching the MMA podcast. Welcome to the Tony Ferguson fan club. We love this dude. He said he was 179 pounds earlier in the week, but he still went through and did that cut and went all the way down to 55. And he was saying, like, this is drawing kind of a chalk line. This is showing a line of dedication. This is showing that, I'm a champion. I got the champion mindset. This was the date I'm supposed to do this. And, Justin didn't make weight. We don't know if on the 9th it's still going to be Justin or not. You know what I mean? It's still, that, I guess, part is still up in the air. On the one hand of me, I think, that's the Tony that we know and love. And I love that he made weight just to prove it and show his commitment. But at the same time, I did wonder if he is fighting on May 9th, doing this to his body, is that a problem? Cutting that weight and then putting it back on. I don't know if he'll go back up to 79, but so you're the fighter. I'm curious what your take is on that from sort of both sides of the idea of just like the proving the point and also what it could do to his body.
Right. So I played with that idea as well. here's the thing. Like, it just depends on how tough your weight cut is. Because if you're one of these guys that have to go and get an IV or go to the hospital or are experiencing extreme cramping, then we see these guys that are cuddled up in a ball and their coaches are dragging them into the steam room.
Right.
I don't think Tony's one of those guys. I don't think Tony has that type of weight cut. I think none of us like a weight cut, but I think Tony's probably like me. He gets it done. He's still talking normal. He's not slurring his words. It doesn't do a drastic amount of damage to his body. We still have to go through the normal protocol of recovering, but he's not messed up afterward. And so being that I suspect Tony is that type of guy, he's got his weight cut under control. He wrestled growing up. He knows how to cut weight. I think this is a plus for him. I think it's a good thing because when you make weight, I don't know, you don't feel great at weight, but once you've done it, you feel great because it's imagine to all of our viewers, if you're walking around with a backpack with 20 pounds of rocks in it, and then you take the backpack off, all of a sudden you feel lighter and quicker and everything. And that's how it feels when you're on weight. I mean, you're walking around, when you're on weight, you're fighting 20 pounds average, 20 pounds less than you normally walk at. See, all of a sudden, God, you feel lighter, you feel faster, you feel smoother, you're much more flexible because there's less water and resistance and muscle on your body. So I love it as well. I hate making the weight, but when I'm on weight, man, I feel 10 years younger because you're just lighter, faster, more flexible, and everything feels better. It's also a mentality. I didn't see the Michael Jordan documentary thing that's happening right now on Netflix. I can't wait to watch it. But from what I've heard, that's what it reminds me of. When you want to be the GOAT, you have to have that championship mindset. You have to be obsessed with it. And that's what Tony Ferguson is showing. That, look, man, I am obsessed with this and I'll make weight even though I'm not fighting.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's awesome that he did that. And I don't think like you said, he doesn't seem like he's dying every weight cut, right? I mean, he's a lanky guy. He is, tall and lanky for that, but he doesn't, I don't know. It seems to me that he can do that. And if anything, it's only going to make him more mentally strong for the next time he has to do it again. Like, he seems Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to like cut weight 2 weeks in a row just for it, right? Because he'll be like, it just made me better at it. It made me stronger. So.
And I believe he'll have a head start. Whoever he's fighting May 9th, he's not going to put on the entire 25 pounds again. He's going to like, usually fighters get to fight week 10 to 15 pounds above. And so you cut 10, 15 pounds of water, you put the water back on, and then that's where you stay. Right. It's the guys that go and eat cupcakes for 6 weeks that then put on that extra 10 pounds of like mass. But if he's just taking the water off and putting it on and he's staying in that pretty much lean, if he's still all he has to do is for 3 weeks stay in shape and eat semi-healthy, and so he'll be a step ahead of the curve. He'll be weeks ahead of other guys that have to really go through that whole cleansing process and eating super healthy to get down to that water weight cut. So I think it's a good thing for him.
Speaking of weight, I had to laugh the other day. I don't know if you saw Sagano, Junior Dos Santos had posted this picture, and he kind of had this sad face, and he's looking up, and he was talking about how he had to start eating a keto diet because without being able to train and everything and being sitting at home and more, he said that his weight was going up. Like, that has to be interesting because, you figure Junior's used to being able to eat whatever the heck he wants. You know what I mean? But obviously he probably takes in a massive amount of calories to fuel a body that big and powerful and everything. But it was just sort of funny to look on his face because, it's like, it would still look like a hell of a lot of food, but you know what I mean? He was just like, I got to eat a diet. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And how crazy to think that, like, I've got a diet so I don't get too big above 265. Like, that's insane.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Well, I don't know how you've been doing on the food and everything. I mean, because, obviously, like, you got your old setup, you've been working out and stuff. I don't know, like, have you been going crazy, being entertained? I know I still have not been bored. I got a lot of stuff to do. I still actually haven't started a new puzzle. I want to, but I don't know what you've been watching at this point. At this point in the show, Alan, we should let people know what we're doing to stay entertained. So, I don't know what you're watching with the fan. What? Wade's over here crying because he's a Walking Dead guy. And apparently they were supposed to have a finale, and instead they just popped up. They were like, there's no finale because we couldn't film it, apparently. So they just had some scenes and stuff like that. So he's over here all upset. I don't know if you watched that or if that's one of the shows that you get upset about not being able to see.
Yeah, I mean, I love The Walking Dead, but I'm not a diehard any show. I mean, staying busy, like we said, around the house, working on the house. That's been good. I've been trying to just rehab my leg. That's been keeping me busy.
Right.
And then look, whenever a new show pops up on Netflix, it seems like all of America kind of jumps on it.
Right.
It was the Tiger King a couple weeks ago. I'm starting. Before that, it was kind of like the
Hernandez, right.
Hernandez thing. And now it's kind of seeming like the Michael Jordan thing might be the next thing to watch. So yeah, and I watched, what's his name? There's a new comedy special.
Chris D'Elia's, right?
Yeah, Chris.
Yeah, he's got a new special out, right? I'm trying to think what else we watched on, because obviously everybody already blew through Ozark. Wade's crying because his Ink Master show can't finish either. I'll call Dave. How about I just call Dave Navarro and I'll ask him who won, okay?
Yeah.
Actually do know Dave. But I don't have his number, but I do know Dave. But so we watch all of Ozark. So we're watching Picard, which is on the CBS one. And my friend Michelle is on there. So we are watching that. We're watching what else? Kim's Convenience, which is a fun sitcom. It is a Canadian show, and we kind of finishing our night with a couple of Kim's Convenience. Our night is basically ends around 1:30, 1:45, 2 a.m. We stay up late anyway, and now
1:30 a.m.
Oh yeah, dude! We already were late night people before COVID. Before COVID, we already stayed up till 1 a.m. probably almost every day anyway. COVID now, I've seen 2:30 more frequently than not. It's stupid. We watch a movie because now the kids staying up later. So then we're like, okay, go to bed so we can have our own time to watch our own show, right? I can't watch Ozark with her around. So we had to wait till later to watch that. Then we're up and you're just there and you're up because you sleep until 10:30, 11 anyway. So then you're like, look at your face right now is hilarious. You're just like, what? I'm just a late night person. I don't mind necessarily getting up in the morning, but I also don't mind staying up all night.
I can't do it. I'm such kind of a routine type person that if I stay up to midnight-ish, little past midnight, the next morning, even if I get 8 hours, I just feel like I went out drinking or something.
Really?
I'm just not, I swear, I don't know what happened to me. It's somewhere around my mid-30s.
Yeah.
I've never been a night owl, but somewhere around my mid-30s, if I stay up too late, then I'm just dragging all day long. And yeah, I'm shocked.
All right, old man.
2:30 in the morning? Are you nuts?
No, well, here's the thing. And so, when I used to do radio a long time ago, I was a DJ. And I would do morning drive radio. So I would get up at 5 in the morning and I would do a 3-hour radio show and then I would go on my day. So it's weird. I'm one of those people who I usually, even in the best of times, would only get 6 hours of sleep, 5.5 hours of sleep. I'm one of those people who literally can stay up till 2 in the morning and then I'll have a 7 a.m. call time and I'm like, all right, whatever, we're doing it. I don't know. It hasn't ever really been an issue. Yeah, I don't. So I don't mind getting up in the morning either. But yeah, I'll stay up late. Now, I'm not saying I'm not falling asleep on the couch because I am sometimes, but you're like.
That's amazing though. That's kind of like a little superpower that you have there.
I guess it is.
I can't do it. I've always been I need 8 hours of sleep to function, especially when I'm training. If I'm not training and I'm just kind of gonna do this or do that. But I can't remember the last time in my life that I never was really training somehow. And for that to happen, I need my 8 hours. I got to be in bed 10:30, 11 o'clock, watching TV, falling asleep. That's amazing. 2:30 and then getting up. Couldn't do it. I couldn't do it.
All right, so I don't know if people watch Killing Eve either, though. Megan O'Leary and I are doing a reaction show to that called Killing Even More. So if people are into that, it's the second episode aired last night on, Killing Eve airs on AMC and BBC. It's just a really fun show. It's, this really hot spot assassin chick and this cop that's chasing her. It's a really fun show if people don't watch it. But anyway, Megan and I both really like it. And so we've been doing a recap show on Sunday nights for that, so people can look for that. It's, we do it live at 7:30 on the West Coast here, right after it airs, East Coast time. And then people can jump on there. And so if you do watch it live, it is going to have spoilers. But I will say that's a show that I totally love, that people should get into. Killing Eve on that one. Wade watches that one now. Roar's watching that one with us too. So yeah, it's Killing Even More, and you guys should check that show out as well. But it's funny, Alan, because, you and I get together here and we're talking about fight stuff. People see me and Megan, they're like, oh my God, you guys need to talk about fights. And we were like, no, we're just talking about this TV show that we like. Yeah. Which same here. Both she and I last night, we're both talking. We're like, man, this sucks. We need to get back to work, bro.
Yeah. Both of you. I know, right?
Yeah.
Not a lot to talk about at the time, but as we mentioned at the top of the show, it's coming. It's coming. They're nearing.
Well, also, Alan, you and I are very dialed in because we didn't call each other before the show, but what's with the camo? I find it kind of crazy that we both pulled out the camo today.
I don't know. Maybe we secretly did not want to be seen that much today.
You're blending into your background there. Then you're Mr. Handyman. Never mind. I was gonna make a bad joke about something, so I'm just gonna skip it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna move right along.
I'm south. Okay. Good call.
Yeah. But anyway, so it does look like you guys are staying sane. You know, I know a lot of people right now are kind of like bugging out. Some people want everything opened up again. Some of us think that it's a little too soon. I'm personally in the don't rush back phase or stance, but I'm also fortunate enough to have some money saved where I can stay home. So I fully understand why people are in certain positions and are of different mindsets. But I do believe that even if you feel good, staying home is going to help other people that you may not even see, and somebody's grandma, somebody's mom, somebody's sister, somebody younger that also could be compromised. So for me, I don't have an issue staying home, and I hope people still do.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty close to that same stance. We definitely stay home. When we go out, we wear a mask and gloves. And I am excited for the economy to start opening. I do like the way that they said it might be happening where it's state to state, because obviously New York and Montana have different situations happening. Right. So if somebody else could open up sooner, I get it. But the states that are in the most crucial places need to kind of sit back a little bit longer than I get it. I'm fine with it as well. Yeah.
All right, Alan. Well, on Instagram, I'm KB Heat. Everywhere else, Karyn Bryant across the board. Also, once again, we have Killing Even More. You can follow that as well. And you can follow Wade, who's doing all the producing here, and that's just Wade Eck ECK. So where can they find you?
Yeah, and again, guys, follow me as well. You can find me on all the social media platforms at Alan Jouban, first and last name, nothing fancy, just that.
That's right. That's right. And, of course, MMA Heat across the board as well. Any parting thoughts there, Wade? Nothing? No. Get a haircut. You need a haircut, too, don't you?
Man, I've been cutting my son's hair, but I don't think I'm going to try to do my own hair.
You could get an Elvis pompadour. I think for next week, Alan, I would like to see an Elvis pompadour from you.
I would be down with it. It's just getting a little fluffy out here, so it's been hat weather.
Hat weather. Yeah, mine is getting crazy long too. Maybe I'll wear it straight next week. I pulled it down last week. It is down like to the middle of my back. I'm letting it grow anyway, but I was like, oh my God, it's long.
You want me to?
No.
Okay, I'm just saying, I can give it a shot.
Yeah, nice.
I'm not too good at bangs, though.
Yeah, the bangs. Oh, because I look really great with bangs. That's me. I need bangs.
That'd be good.
It's a really good look.
Just below the brow.
Yeah. Totally. All right, folks. Well, stay safe out there. Stay healthy. Thanks for listening.
Yeah.
See you next time.
Take care, everyone.